everybody, and welcome to video number 47 in my EFT series. And I decided to make this video about fear because in this current climate, when we are just coming out of the pandemic, there is a lot of fear and a lot of worries about going back, and things like pandemics or anything which kind of happens in our lives, they trigger the feelings of fear in us. And so I thought it might be a good idea and good time to do a video about helping us to connect to this fear and let go of this fear, but also acknowledge this fear. So before I start, I would ask you to take responsibility for your own well-being, and if you decide to tap along, also I would encourage you to wash your hands. Okay, so you might be wondering why all the water at the back. And it's because there is a story which is connected to EFT, or actually used to be called TFT, thought field therapy. That's how EFT or TFT originally first started. There was a patient called Mary. We are going all the way back to the 1970s, and Mary was very fearful of water. She couldn't even take a bath safely. She couldn't give baths to her children. She had to have a quick shower. She couldn't even think of looking at any lake, river or the ocean without feeling the fear. And so for many years she was trying to find help. She had a lot of psychological, intervention, counseling, and nothing was helping. And then a psychologist called Roger Callahan was working with her, and for 18 months he didn't have much success either. Till one day Mary says, "Oh, I feel this fear at the pit of my stomach." And then Roger Callahan was aware of this meridian which is connected to your stomach, which is actually the meridian underneath your eyes. And so he decided to experiment, give it a go. And they tapped on this fear at the pit of my stomach, and Mary was stepping at that time, and Mary suddenly exclaimed, "No, it's gone, it's gone." And Roger said, "Well, what do you think it's gone?" And he said, "The fear isn't there anymore." And Roger was a bit skeptical, but then, he could see that she was able to go to the pool and splash about, and she was just happy. And, and that's how first EFT started. And so I thought I'll leave the water there today because it's quite relevant to kind of being the reminder that that's how EFT first started, with helping Mary tap on her fear of the water, and then hey ho, it all went. So so if we've got a lot of fear around us and we are not able to acknowledge it or let it go, then the fear will be kind of storing itself in our bodies. It could be a way of pain, or any other feelings of anxiety. And I always I come from a family where it was never encouraged to talk about our feelings, about fear, anger. I was always taught to just get on with it. I do remember the times I wasn't even aware I had any fear till somebody who was able to sense my feelings, a therapist, said, "Oh, you've got a lot of fear." And I said to myself, "Well, what fear? I've been brave all my life." And then I started to realize that, yes, she's right. I've got all this fear. That's why I'm ill all the time, because I've got this fear which I store in my body. I'm not able to let it go. So I was telling my mom, "Look, I think I've got this fear, or I'm worried." And she said, "Oh no, you mustn't be." I remember a time when I used to look for work, and I've been already quite ill all through my school years, and that was my way of coping. I studied and did things not to think of pain of the illness. And then I started to look for work, and it wasn't easy. And I was sharing that with my dad. I said, "Look, I'm ill all the time. How will I be to work?" Or, I started to be really frightened. And he said to me, "Well, you mustn't be like that." So I learned, to repress these feelings of fear but at the same time, it wasn't serving me, and I had this long-term chronic illness. So I learned to express, to be able to connect to the fear over the years, to express it, accept it, acknowledge it. It's okay. It's all okay. It's all, I accept myself for who I am, and I let it go. And since then, I started to see improvements in my health. So let's connect to the fear, all that feeling of perhaps you sometimes feel unsafe, and rate the feeling on a scale of 10 when it's as worst as it could ever be, going down to 0 or 1 when it's very low or it's not there at all. So connect to this feeling of fear, and we can start tapping on the side of our hands. Even though I have this fear, it seems to be with me all the time, I love and accept myself anyway. Even though I have this sensation of being frightened, I feel scared. I accept myself and who I am. Even though sometimes I may feel unsafe and I do not know where this comes from, I accept and love myself anyway. Okay, so now just the reminder phrases. This fear. I often feel scared. I feel scared and fearful. Sometimes I feel frightened. Sometimes I feel unsafe. I have these feelings inside me now. This fear. I often feel scared. I feel scared and fearful. Sometimes I feel frightened. Sometimes I feel unsafe. I feel scared. I have all these scared feelings inside me now. Okay, so take a deep breath. Tune in to this feeling of fear. What happened to the intensity of that feeling? Has it stayed the same? Has it gone down? Or has it even gone up? If it's gone up, don't worry, that's fine. Possibly it might have gone up because you might have been not allowing yourself to feel those feelings, and now you allowed yourself, the intensity will go up, and that's okay. So, just continue tapping on that. Like, where do you feel this in your body? So, like in the case of Mary, she felt it at the pit of stomach. So you might feel it somewhere else, but do a round on tapping on where do you feel it in your body. So I will say feeling it at the pit of my stomach, but wherever it feels for you, it could be tightness in your chest, it could be, wherever you feel it, tap as it is appropriate for you, wherever you feel this fear. So even though I feel this fear at the pit of my stomach, I love and accept myself anyway. Even though I feel butterflies at the pit of my stomach, I love and accept myself anyway. Even though I feel this sickness at the pit of my stomach, I love and accept myself anyway. So this fear at the bottom of my stomach, these butterflies in my stomach, I feel sick in my stomach. This fear at the pit of my stomach, I feel these butterflies in my stomach. I feel sick in my stomach. I've got this fear in my stomach. This fear at the pit of my stomach. These butterflies in my stomach. This fear at the bottom of my stomach. These butterflies in my stomach. I'm letting go of these butterflies. Letting go of this fear in my stomach. Okay, so again, take a deep breath. Put your hand on your heart center and connect to yourself. Connect to the fear. Connect to the place in your body where that fear has gone. Now, if that fear has gone somewhere else, then continue tapping. If the intensity is still quite high, just continue tapping. Also, the more specific you can be, the better results you will have. So, is there a time you remember when you felt, this fear? And it might be that you don't remember, and that's okay. Just continue tapping on, what we've just been doing. Just continue tapping on the fear, where you feel it in your body. What does it look like? Is there any other sensation? If you've got a new feeling, a new sensation, do a new setup statement. So it could be, say, sadness, even though I've got this sadness. And again, continue tapping there. So do a new, whenever you have a new feeling, do a new setup. Or if you feel it somewhere else in your body, yeah, do another setup. But there is a very effective technique called the movie technique, and I remember when I was learning about it, and I wasn't the only one, I wasn't the only student who had difficulties. We struggled to kind of understand the concept, and it's not that difficult. You just think of a time, of a stressful, fearful time in your life. It could, for example, be, I don't know, when you were fired from your job, or during that interview, or when you had a fight with your mum, or with your dad, or whatever, and you think of that time and you give it a title. So you, for example, would give it a title, This Fight I Had With My Dad, and you continue tapping. So you do the setup. Even though I've got this fight with my dad movie, I love and accept myself anyway. And then you continue tapping like we've been doing just now. And the reminder phrase would be, this fight with my dad. This movie I call Fight with My Dad. That fight I had with dad in the kitchen. That fight with my dad. That fight I had with my dad in the kitchen. This kitchen with dad fight. This, I don't know, this fight with dad in the kitchen, yeah. Yeah, just keep on tapping on that movie, give it a title. And then after you tapped, think again, go through the movie and think, okay, so that's what happened. Dad came to the kitchen, he was very angry, and it was a time he gave me that nasty look. Okay, so if that is a time and you feel some, increase in your fear levels, then you continue tapping. So you can continue tapping and say, even though Dad gave me this nasty look, it was a fearful look, I saw it in his eyes, I love and accept myself anyway. And again, you continue tapping through all that till you come to the end. Again, tune in, and again, think about what happened then. And you continue basically doing it till you are able to tell the movie without any emotional charge. So that means you've cleared that out of your system, out of your body. And so yeah, anything which comes up, any memory of that fear, keep on tapping. And once you've cleared the fear, you can then tap on the positive. And people will often ask me, well, why can't I tap on the positive right from the beginning? And the reason is because if you were tapping on the positive from the beginning, it wouldn't have any effect. So many years ago I read the book by Susan Jeffers, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And the thing is, it's good to feel it, acknowledge it, let it go. But if we still continue doing the things with the fear inside of us, it still won't be beneficial. So I do know that, for example, Susan Jeffers did have cancer, later in life. And this is kind of what happens if we are not able to acknowledge the fear and express it, being able to express it and let it go, and we continue doing whatever we do with the fear inside of us, it still will not be helping us. So it's good to let go of that fear, and then you can tap on the things you want to attract more into your life. Things like laugh, loving energy, yellow laugh. If there is a color, just bring in the color that you associate with love, and visualize that beautiful thing, that beautiful whatever it is. Just visualize it for the next 3 or 4 weeks, because then you'll be clearing, the light will be clearing the fear. And tap most days, every day, it will be helping to clear that fear. So thank you for watching my video, and I look forward to seeing you during my next video. Bye for now.